to Scrapbook My Life, where I tell you an embarrassing story to save you from making the same embarrassing mistakes I did. Why is stage fright a thing? Has it ever helped anyone? Does anyone actually do well when they totally freak out? I know I don't. It was 8th grade. I had been in show choir for a whole 3 years, and our final performance of the year was 2 weeks away. I didn't have a solo in the show again. In fact, I had never had a solo in all 3 years of choir. That was until our choir teacher, Mrs. Martin, made an announcement and threw us a total choir curveball. "Sophia just moved to Florida, so I have to reassign her solo," Ms. Martin said. Then, Ms. Martin did something she never did. She left it up to us. "So who wants the solo?" she asked. It was quiet for a second. Then, without thinking, my hand shot up. "Sure, Sarah'll do the solo," she said. My friend Cole patted me on the back. I'd been telling her about wanting a solo all year. But then, my body started to fill with dread. I had been so excited by the chance to have a solo that I raised my hand without even remembering that I had stage fright, like bad stage fright. When I was singing with other people, it was fine, but the moment I got on stage by myself, I would get so nervous that my whole neck would break out in a rash. I wanted to go up to Mrs. Martin and tell her that I'd changed my mind. She should give the solo to someone else. But this was my last chance to ever have a solo in middle school, and it was one of my favorite songs we'd done all year. I forced my feet to walk out of the classroom without talking to Mrs. Martin. The only way I was going to get over my stage fright was by practicing the solo so much that nothing could possibly go wrong. I canceled all of my plans for the next 2 weeks, even my plans to go look at hamsters at the pet store with Cole. And I loved hamsters. Cole said I must have been the most prepared anyone had ever been for a choir show. But it was the night of the final performance and I still didn't feel good about things. Everything was okay when I was singing on the risers with everyone else, but when it came time for me to step forward for my solo, despite all my practice, I totally panicked. I did the one thing you're never supposed to do. I looked right into the super bright stage lights. And then when I looked down to find my mark, I couldn't see anything at all. I took another step forward, trying to guess where my mark was. Then another step. Then there was a thud. I felt myself hit the floor. The audience gasped. I had just fallen off the stage. I stood up on the floor below the stage. I'd listened to the music. I still had 2 seconds before my solo was supposed to start. I brushed myself off and started my solo right on time. I'd practiced so much that I didn't even have to think about it. The worst possible thing had happened, and I was still okay. A couple of people even came up to me after the show and said that they thought that me falling off the stage was part of the choreography. And the best part was, I didn't even break out in a neck rash the whole time. And that was how I started to actually get over my stage fright. Not by making sure that nothing could possibly go wrong, but by realizing that even if something did go wrong, I would still be okay. So remember that the next time you have stage fright, and hopefully it'll save you from falling off stage in front of the whole school.